yourself, but let's go down to Punta Cana, the DR. I once spent a month in the DR one weekend. I had a great time from what I heard. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I heard that it was a great time. But this is North Island. This is North Island. This is not Teeth of the Dog. This is Punta Cana. That's where the PGA is going after America's Major, the U.S. Open. Coach, what do you got for us this week?
Well, I actually know this course very, very well because for 3 or 4 years, I had the honor of being on the board of directors for David Ortiz's charity, the David Ortiz Children's Fund, that basically does life-saving surgeries for young children in the Dominican Republic. For every $5,000, they're saving a life, and it's an amazing thing that Big Papi does. Now, he plays his golf tournament on this particular course where they're playing this week for the PGA Tour. And it was a big deal a couple of years ago when we were down there. They said, hey, the PGA Tour is coming. There are no less guys than 12 of the 18 holes that are on the water at this resort. So when you look at guys that you want to bet on this week, if you don't like the bets I give out, if you're betting at home, make sure you look at a really good ball striker that has a low ball fight. And it's really easy to do the research because a lot of it's wind, there's water everywhere, and you're going to see some big numbers. There could be an 85, there could be a 65. The winning score is going to probably be in the 20s. But this is a hard golf course if you don't know how to hit your golf ball. So I got 3 plays this week, and there's a lot of names that you're going to see when you go to whatever book it is that you use that you're not going to recognize because a lot of the bigger names, like Tiger, like Rory, they were playing yesterday at a charity event in Missouri. By the way, that was really cool. But here's 3 bets. I want you to get out your paper and your pencils, and you write them down. Thank you, boys. Hey, Joey, where's your paper? The other 2 have the paper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so our first one, and don't question the name. It's with a D. Brian Stewart, plus 145 over Luke List. Luke List has been great the last couple of months, but he's a big hitter. He hits it a long way. He's not going to be playing well, in my opinion, on this golf course. Brian Stewart is a plotter, and he's a top 15 machine. Sam Burns at the Safeway 2 weeks ago. He was in the lead after 36 holes, stumbled over the weekend, but he's starting to figure out how to play in the final groups on the weekend. I think he's going to play well. Minus 110 over Corey Connors, a similar player, but Corey hasn't been playing too well as of late. And our third and final play, just because I love to say the name, Xinjun Zhang, minus 110 over Kyle Stanley. And Kyle Stanley has been –
how do you spell that? How do you spell that?
That would be Xinjunzhang. Xinjun Zhang. Just like
correct.
That. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. He's minus 110 over Kyle Stanley. There's a lot of value across the board, but I wouldn't bet too high this week. I'm not putting too much on anything because let's just be honest. There's a lot of guys who are going to put pressure on themselves because they don't control their schedule. And when the big boys come back in after the next couple of weeks, then a lot of these guys won't even have the ability to get in these tournaments. So there's a lot of names that you can find value if you're really looking, but I love those 3.
Coach, you and I played Pebble Beach. You played it many times. You know the course very well. Hole number 17, the par 3, Jack Nicklaus hit a 1-iron, the one that hit the pin that stopped right with the thing, made a birdie, made a run to win a U.S. Open out there. You can also hit a 6-iron out there if there's no wind. That's how much difference the wind is. If you watch Jack swing, and he said, I altered it because I felt a wind gust coming up. You know, it shows you how the greatness of Jack Nicklaus. But in the Punta Cana, it's the same thing. I played down there at Teeth of the Dog on the south side of the island. Wind is terrible. If you look and there's a forecast for very little wind, or there's a forecast for gale force winds like you see so much down there, does this alter anything that you're going to do based upon this forecast?
No, because everybody I picked right here has been playing well before they got here. It has nothing to do with the wind. I'm just telling people that if they don't like these picks that look at really good ball strikers, also look at it. There's a couple of players playing this week that played in the U.S. Open last week. Will Zalatoris, who a lot of people have never heard of. He's a Corn Ferry guy. He finished T6 at the U.S. Open. He's taken advantage of that, and he got in this tournament this weekend. He's actually one of the betting favorites. He went from the Corn Ferry Tour to a betting favorite this week because of how well he's been hitting it. But no, it doesn't change anything I'm doing. But you bring up a lot of good points, and it's why I said guys that can change the trajectory. You just said it, from a 1-iron, which is like this, to a 6-iron, which is like this. It matters. It really does. And on this course, it's going to matter a lot, Johnny.
Coach, I don't know if you heard our UFC prelim show. Joey Odessa, the Philly Godfather, the college kids, once again, they absolutely killed it. They're 34-13. If you're a veteran in UFC combat sports, you got to watch this show every Saturday, 1 hour before the prelims, live on Twitch, live on YouTube. Coach, we talked about you a lot. We had some really nice, kind things to say about you. Everybody did. I don't know if you heard it.
I got one word. I got one word. One word for you. Bullshit. Because I was actually driving in the car on my way to Walmart. And I heard you guys, not once, not twice, at least 10 times. And the Godfather, you would have thought that I was calling Elmo on speed dial because he said I was calling him so much. So, by the way, one time, the voice of Elmo years ago was actually at a charity event in New York, and Rosie O'Donnell was the guest. You kind of know how that went. But as I was driving to Walmart, I heard all of you idiots, and Joey, don't act like you didn't jump in on it because you did. And that's okay, because when I'm not there, I'm open season.